So I'm going to get started with our introductions and discussions today. I want to welcome everyone to our webinar presentation on Salmon and Acorns Feed Our People. If you have not had an opportunity to pick up the book, I would highly recommend that you do that. It is an amazing text. And what I really appreciate about it is that it is divided up so that you can um, use each of the chapters on their own if you need to, and that it's really easily teachable to people, which I think is important. And I have used several of the chapters in my own teaching, and I will say that people respond very well to them. They're very well laid out, and what is really what we really appreciate the most about this work is that Kari made a really important effort to make this a community based endeavor, something that I think community people could feel very proud of, and really talking about the importance of their knowledge and the ways in which they understand connections between environmental justice, environmental racism, and what's happening in our regions. So there's a couple of things that we need to do before we start. The first is I'm going to begin with an acknowledgement of the lands that we're on. So I am Dr. Cutcher Risling Baldy. If you don't know me, I am the Native American Studies Department Chair. I'm also Hupa, Yark, and Karuk. We are the three big tribes here in Northern California. I'm enrolled in the Hupa Valley tribe. And I grew up in this region and am very proud of the work that I've been able to do as a result of my ties to this land and this place, and growing up being able to go gathering with my family members, go swimming with people in the rivers, go fishing, and to eat, salmon and acorns my whole life. And I know that that's not a privilege that a lot of people have still to this day. And I also know that there are so many of us and so many of the younger generation too that are really working to reconnect to our foods and to our lifeways. And so, what I see in our future is a lot of opportunity and a lot of visioning that is going to make a radical future that everybody can be excited about. And so, I'm really excited about what we're going to get to talk about today. And I will say that, acorns are really important to us, and we are acorn peoples and we're salmon peoples, and I think it's really important for us to remember that, and to really think about the way we are nourished by our ancestral foods, so that we can have good conversations and that we can feel good about ourselves, and we can wake ourselves up. My grandma used to tell me, if you want to really know how to wake yourself up, you eat acorns and you go for a run and then you jump in the river. And those are the things that connect you to your place, but they also wake your brain up so that you can think better and you can have ideas that are going to change the world. So I wanted to start today with the land acknowledgement, and I will tell people my land acknowledgements are a little different, and I hope they catch on. When I do land acknowledgements, I think it is very important to acknowledge the land of the peoples in the place in which you are, because those peoples are still there. They are still important to that region. But I also make sure that with any land acknowledgement I give, that there is a course of action that I am asking people to do because they are on that land. I think that land acknowledgements need to be action oriented. They aren't meaningful if they're just there to say Indigenous peoples exist. We know we exist. We're very happy to be here. But we need people to step up and say, well, what does that make me responsible to? And what does that inspire me to do now that I know that? So today I want to acknowledge that I'm coming to you from McKinleyville, California, along Baduat, which the Wiyot call Baduat, in Wiyot territory. Um, and it is the home of the Wiyot peoples. They are still in stewardship and relationship with this place. They are incredibly powerful peoples to know. They are a community of people, I think, who are very welcoming and open, and who also really support people in this region to think about this region as Wiyot land. I'm also fortunate that today we are going to be talking primarily about Karuk lands, and I am Karuk, and I have been to those areas and done ceremonies in those areas. And I think that I want people to know about the Karuk that they are a very resilient people. And if you don't know a lot about the Karuk, you should realize that of the tribes in this region, they had some of the worst things perpetuated against them during the gold rush. And they are one of the tribes with the smallest like land holdings and land areas, even though they're very near many like national parks and state parks. And that to me is a problem. We need to think about how the Karuks are not given access, but also don't have really large land holdings and why that happened. So for your course of action today, since we are going to talk about the Karuks, and Ryan is actually joining us from Karuk land, we are going to ask that you do two things. The first is I am going to give you the site. It's a Facebook site for the Endowment for Ecocultural Revitalization. They are an organization that has been established to protect fish, assist wildlife, educate youth, and return fire to people. And they focus a lot in the Karuk area. And I would like you to go to Facebook and look them up, the Endowment for Ecocultural Revitalization, and like their Facebook page if you have not before, to make sure that you can get information about the work that they're doing with Native youth. I am also going to give you a link to the Humboldt Area Foundation website. This is, if you go, oops, that's the wrong one, I guess. Let me see, HAF. Let's see. Oh no, it just doesn't have a space in it. Hopefully you can see that. If you go to this website from the Humboldt Area Foundation, or you Google the Endowment for Ecocultural Revitalization, it actually is the first website that should come up for the Humboldt Area Foundation. This is where you can donate to the Ecocultural Revitalization Fund. It's an opportunity to put money toward the work that the Karuk people are doing and the youth are doing. And so I want to read you what they say about this fund. This fund is dedicated to program support for tribal partnerships focusing on ecocultural revitalization activities. Its focus is to reconnect the hearts, hands, and minds of people to the natural environment. The cultural relationships of Indigenous peoples with their ancestral homeland environments are being more imperiled with each generation. Indigenous knowledge is founded in practice and belief. Without being a component of ecosystem process, the functional role of humans is removed from our landscapes. Traditional ecological knowledge, practice, and belief systems can be revitalized, and it may be our best chance to learning to live with fire in our rural communities once again. It is with great hope this fund will grow to support our work in the Western Klamath Mountains and beyond. When you think of water, fish, wildlife, plants, and people in partnership with ecosystem processes and functions, please support this endowment fund. And I would like to say to people that if you feel like, well, I can't give very much money, I'm somebody who does a lot of fundraising, and I can tell you that as a person who is constantly like working to do the work that we do in our communities, even a $5 donation helps and tells us that people care about the work that we're doing. And so today I'm asking people to do what they can to support this organization, uplift them on Facebook, share their stories and voices, ask other people to donate, or donate yourself. I also tell people, if you donate to the Ecocultural Revitalization Fund today, I am at Kutcha Baldy on Twitter. You can tag me in a tweet and I will share that you have donated and the reason why, and tell people that you participated in this process and you were willing to give of the things that you were doing here to help support the people that are doing this work. So tag me. You can tag me on Instagram and I will share it there too. So that's your courses of action for today. And if you follow through, please let me know. And I would love to share with people that you were able to do that. I'm going to do a quick introduction of our speakers for today, and then let them take it away. So today we have two esteemed speakers that I'm very excited about, Kari Norgaard and Ryan Reed. I would like to begin by reading the bios that we have for them that they submitted. Just got to pull them up really quick. Give me 1 second. Hold on, I've got too many things open.
Looks like you have two different screens too. I'm jealous.
Oh, it is. Can you see? Like probably you can see, right?
I just see bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, there's like a million screens up right now. Where did they go? I clicked on them. Oh, okay, here we go. So I'll start with Ryan Reed's bio. So Ryan Reed was born and raised at the center of the world of Aboriginal Karuk territory. And during his junior year at the University of Oregon, he is majoring in environmental studies and minoring in Native American studies. Hold on, it disappeared. While attending U of O, he has had many monumental experiences working alongside Dr. Kari Norgaard. These opportunities included numerous panel discussions and guest speaker series. Most recently, he was in Aotearoa, or New Zealand, a panel discussion on Indigenous fire practice, and as he represented a Karuk fire enthusiast and spring salmon ceremonial priest. So that is Ryan Reed that's here with us today. And then we have Kari Norgaard, who's also joining us. And Kari Norgaard is a professor. She's a professor, Kari Norgaard, at the University of Oregon, an associate professor of sociology and environmental studies. She's trained as a postdoctoral fellow in the interdisciplinary IGERT program on the invasive species at University of California, Davis. She joined the University of Oregon faculty in 2011, and over the past 10 years has worked and published and taught in the areas of environmental sociology, gender and environment, race and environment, climate change, sociology of culture, and social movements. And she has done so much work in the Karuk community. Again, if you have interest in what she's doing, I would highly recommend that you pick up her book, Salmon and Acorns Feed Our People. So I'm going to have you all take it away. Thank you so much for joining us today.